Adafonum Mechia Ubia Midi Ene Akusuaji. Na I hope so we baby or Ubia, whether you're in winter, summer, whatever. I hope so Munamo. Na ene person me can asim bia asim here pa very important. Nti me pese me kan wasam na me ne be ma be free e kan brabo mu asema. Currently located in one of the Middle Eastern countries, in other words at the Gulf states, Arab states, oh baby. Na okane na brabo mu asema ema me pese me kan topic for yesem. Na ipese me bisa say yenge before enti amanfo nyame no a obo mo no enu bia ne bo yen ana. The first question no. The second question, Senior, whatever you believe is, whether you believe in nature, you believe in God, the majority of our people believe in God. So whatever you believe is, whether you're a spiritualist, nyame no, and I say nature, nyame obo nipa bibini no ono anebo other races and jintem bisa ne say before for hundreds of years it appears as if say mostly yako enkwasomo. What I say in the past about 400-500 years ago used to be Arabs enslaved Northern Africa as well as East Africa. And Nigeria abrofosodium humbejimu Portuguese, Dutch, British, French, what have you, Spanish for ne diekaho. And then also omodie to and kwasomo. There's a say in crew we a normal one kwasomo ye krumo. Some of them were in debt, some of them were prisoners of war. And omo auction omo tomo de omo ye ebimons were forcibly kidnapped and put on a ship. Millions of Africans and Yedoma, Americas, North America, Caribbean, and Brazil, sugar, and tobacco, all kinds of factories, construction to build American empire as well as European empire. And Nuachi and colonialism, Abrofo started partition Africa more, and then also a different form of enkwasum. About 200 years ago, more abolished slave trade, colonialism, so eshasi, which in essence is a new form of slavery. About 60 years ago, many African countries fought for independence, and we thought yenkwasum is over, exploitation was over, servitude was over. It turned out it is not. Now, Osha around the world, Babia would when you be Africans, many Africans under some form of servitude, slavery, exploitation, forced labor, trafficked, prostitution. Just there in all kinds of ways. The rest of the people share magnitude now. Not every group is under those dehumanizing conditions. Thousands of African youth travel, sometimes by foot, at times through very dangerous conditions. War trucks for cargo, and as the weapons, and as the contraband, and as the illicit drugs near different. Near the Omoatriamo at a key risk across the Sahara, Dientia. Here, poverty, unemployment, hardship, social problems, conflict, persecution. Many people, especially the youth, in rural areas or more money access to education, underprivileged, the Omonka society home. But so they must survive, especially the young men. They are ignored in our society. Policies say woman minor countries nankasa kwasumo, because whether agriculture and I say extractive industries, which is whether oil ni say gold, say diamond, say manganese, say uranium. African countries or Africa as a continent has all kinds of resources. They have it in proportion that no other continent has. But it doesn't even belong to young Africa for no. They produce cocoa in Africa, but how many Africans eat chocolate a day? Canada high chocolate, any ice cream, those things, a daily occurrence. African diamonds are who do free. How many Africans wear diamonds? Africa eats all kinds of oil. Obia Kurumomo discover oil Africans a done curse. Oil, the more you discover more resources, the more a conflict is. And as a corruption, a dorsum. Whether we hear Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola now is doing a little bit better, but what a bloody history it has. We hear Mozambique, we hear in Nigeria. Nigeria is supposed to be the giant of Africa. And so conflict, Boko Haram, free exploitation by foreigners as well as the political elite. Typically, the nobodies are left out. The rural areas, the underprivileged people are totally left out from sharing in the national cakes. Just the people at the top, they share with foreigners. Yeah, agriculture into modernize it, into produce enough to feed each other. You produce a cry, yen planning, yen factories into essay. Then in Suantwa we are doomed because we haven't really advanced our technology. Into advancing agriculture to manufacture produce into juice, into all kinds of produce you see, so that your off season amount for being a beauty. In Suantwa drought then the foreigner has to look after us. Gold, yenisika yen develop a human resource. Yenisika ya bit advancing economy so yeah equipping and crop to generate funds until we have to rely on IMF or China or World Bank. Because of that policy, in favor locals, policy, has to favor the donor, and we have to tailor the policy towards the donor. Therefore, masses and masses of African youth are left behind. Many of them don't have access to good education, no good health care, nothing. So the average African youth, dear now was oni ejuma, oni education, oni enidasobia. So they embark on these dangerous journeys, whether of Sahara so Akodane Akwa Libya. Some of them auctioned, in namely African sons, men and women auctioned in Libya for something as low as $200. Some of them are tortured, some of them are trafficked, some of them are beaten up, some of them are forced into prostitution. Ibimu yenchiamuka, ibimu dida enwuramu. Libyan militias and as a Moroccan police, itumichi Africa for near Shiba biomoti in campsite. Rapes, killings all over. I came across stories via Africans be crowded in room, the tomato cans, and they saw rainwater. No massive fire would be the Arabian, all because they're working so hard to get to Europe. They're so mistreated. In my research, we come across Nigeria now because in the attempt to go after spending Isikakokra to embark on 2,500 miles on foot and in dangerous tracks for Libya, he was sold about 3 times. The third time, the second issue, Germany the throne in him. Share Africans to me force across the Mediterranean, thousands and thousands are drowned. Many crossing, the majority of them are Africans. Obomodin Kudru Italy, a Bruno Sunchai. Hundreds and hundreds of Guineans and Nigerians, all kinds of Africans are continuing on because they are undocumented in Italy. There are some of them who, under Italy's capo system, Juma 16 hours, sometimes 6 days a week, no rest, just for $4.50. What the Arab world is almost the same. Some are unpaid, under servitude, ebimo papers niaje. Saudi Arabia ne United Arab Emirates no so kra de omo what they called exit permit. Nti se wo nipa or dada wono normally people are promised say bia monkoye adwuma salon and I say promise me all these nice jobs. Omkodru they're normally not given sikana a promise you mono. Ukasa won yenso na yaje won krata. Otiase you cannot leave the country. And then they tell you you're in debt. Kaya bonye. There was one case in Italy where the lady, a family friend, the aunt, are downfall. And the dad and also koyejma hairdressers or salon could rule forcing into prostitution. She told the young lady who was just about 23 years old, say was so yejma $22,000. So the girl was forced into prostitution and exposed to all kinds of atrocities. Slavery no I can't say no, slavery is still alive. Many African sons in enslavement everywhere. Many of them they're extortions. Many African youth suffering everywhere. Some of them are treated, sometimes they transport you together with dogs. An average African in Libya, auction now, so the African human young male is valued based on economic value. Just a gruesome job obey. Many of them mistreated all over. And my question may be say, into the course on African governments of one. Many of them are your assembly me, but be omote or to show me the conditions of survey, and yet sanitary conditions are Canada highway. Even dogs will not even sleep there. Those houses will be condemned houses, abandoned houses, I would say demolishing. And who been a Ghana 40. Rats, mold, all of these things cause cancer. Overcrowding. I don't even know whether they have a fridge to preserve it. In Arabian heat, you still have to go to work because otherwise half an hour for the whole day or for several hours. It means to work so at will. Meanwhile, what's the pekra you can't return? Offer Ghanaian embassy from what I understand from Amnesty International, many of these African countries embassies are understaffed. And the staff are not even trained in labor matters. In some of the European policies, what I learned from The Guardian in the UK, and they say many of these African countries, they don't even want to engage the European Union or form a bilateral agreement or multilateral agreement to return the people because of remittances and migrants And my question is say, since Africans are more diaspora, whether the Kwan Papa son or not, now mon crofo echo may mistreat you mono, now munya almost on fasono. Why can't they negotiate better conditions for them? The DNT capabilities Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Philippines, they all negotiated for better conditions for their nationals. The DNT African governments into many. What is the African Union doing? Until one speak here for the people. In Africa, only Uganda and Ethiopia are doing something for their nationals. In fact, a Ugandan report to be omoye just say tens of Ugandans committed suicide because of poor conditions of service in the Arabian and the Gulf states in the Arab world. One of them jumped in front of a speeding train and killed themselves. In some of the reports I'm seeing, say a Ghana embassy krana on fee. They want the people who are suffering, who may not even know their right, to come and find them. In one instance, it's Ghana Nibikra all of a sudden. A free embassy crash of a Boana. Embassy, directing the people here and there, bouncing them around to bring the employer. What is an employer who is abusing or exploiting an undocumented immigrant or migrant with no status? What is the employer going to do to help? In the other countries, embassies look out for the interest of their nationals. In Africa, they won't do it. First of all, they won't look after the interests of their nationals back home. They won't govern to improve the conditions of their nationals. It is because of that their nationals are taking or embarking on all kinds of dangerous journeys to cross the Sahara, to cross the Arabian Sea, and take on all kinds of jobs and be exposed to all kinds of atrocities and exploitation. Some of the functions of the embassy is not just to promote the country or trade and development and other interests, but nationals, the welfare of your nationals are part of your role. In fact, as a Canadian nationals in Crawford who are they did everything possible. So why can't we receive the same service for the countries we belong to, who want us to be patriotic, even though they don't want to stand for us, who want to benefit from remittances, but they don't want to have benefit, they don't want to do anything for their nationals. So what makes somebody a Ghanaian? Just by name? How can somebody be patriotic when you're not there for them? How can a Ghanaian love the country when they call upon you and you're not there? It is a parent, Oba here while you are never there, but you want Obano to treat you as a parent and love you as a mother or father when you are never there, or when they're in need, they call upon you, you never do anything. Into the band yen Crawford, yen leaders, your traditional leaders, when are they gonna stop thinking about themselves alone and start to look after their own, the nationals' interests, and not just the elite, but the masses? Improve their conditions so they can give them jobs to prevent them from embarking on dangerous journeys. In fact, according to the UN, Africans do quite a chain continent here. And because we're the poorest continent under the sun, whose unemployment and poverty keeps rising, drought, climate change, conflict, what have you, so people are always on the move. And they're so mistreated. They're treated the lowest of all peoples. All because we don't improve our conditions and we don't treat our own people well. So then they're desperate. Time magazine they can't ask and be say, whereby first they capture slaves now. Right now desperation are replacing capture. It's young Africa, because of desperation, many Africans voluntarily, so to speak, travel to be enslaved, to be under bondage. It is about time. Say per se child discrimination, so you see any racism, you per respect other racial groups there. It's about time we treated our people nicely. We improve conditions so you grow for better more. No man ko enko. It is about time you start to say yen so ye buye home. Now you negotiate just like everybody else fight for the people. They fight for better conditions, better minimum wage for the people, protect their human right, to protect their human dignity, and demand better service, better treatment for their nationals. African Union has to live up to its expectations. Individual African countries have to do something for the people to improve the conditions. In fact, the ILO, International Labour Organization, reported that by 2050, about 40% of the world's poor would be in Nigeria and Democratic Republic of Congo alone. Again. So why can't we develop our resources for the benefit of our own people so they can stay home? And when they stay home, we improve their skill, they can manufacture, and instead of help other countries to develop. Those countries, the labor and the human resource and be developing resources to improve our own conditions and get the respect we want. It is after when we do that racism can go down, that discrimination against the blacks can go down, just as Israel did, and they now have respect. Africans everywhere, from Israel to Italy to Arab world, they're mistreated everywhere. Israelis treat Africans so horribly, Arabs so horribly, Europeans, it's a bia because young kasari treaty and call for well improve conditions to your money number sabasasa just to find something, just something a little better than home. It is very sad and heartbreaking. I hope say leaders will begin to think say it is when you improve your own the honor respect. It is not about talking shop. It is not about promising, but it is about improving your own people's lives, human conditions at home. After all, when you improve it, your people will stay home. And because you also improve conditions, they would be respected as everybody else. Particularly many of them are the story brave. And this is in honor of all Ghanaian youth suffering in Libya and everywhere around the world. I dedicate this audio to you all. Thank you and look after yourselves well. May there be a sick.
Let me tell you with the supper since that he go good. Hey, supper, taya, tenga, walk, I don't suffer in this shadow. He go good, Ghana go good, by force, he go good. Supper, taya, tenga, walk, I don't suffer in this shadow.